I'm Jenna Miscavige. I was born and raised in Scientology. I left when I was 21 years old and wrote a book about it. My uncle, David Miscavige, is the leader of Scientology, and this is my YouTube channel. Hey guys, so yesterday I posted a video saying that I was going to dedicate my life and my channel to bringing Scientology to justice. And I have been thinking a lot about this in the last 24 hours. And what I'm trying to do is visualize the end goal. Like, what exactly is justice? Well, I believe that justice is Scientology acknowledging the bad things that it's done, apologizing. I feel like it having to pay damages to members that it has hurt and whose lives they've ruined. I feel like them being made to reform their system and them having to change the way they operate, no longer being able to abuse people and children. I feel like them being seen as the destructive criminal organization that they are all things that would be justice in my eyes. And so when I think about how to do this, there are actually many avenues, and some will work at some times and some won't. Like, for instance, one avenue is obviously legal and suing them for their criminality, but that can be difficult. There can be issues with statutes of limitations. Now, this isn't a for sure thing. Statutes of limitations can and have been changed in the past, and in many cases they may not be an issue. I'm actually going to get on the phone with a couple of lawyers today and get as much info about this as I can. But the legal way is one way, suing them, whether it's criminally, trying to get the government to sue them, which can also be difficult because the government does what the government wants, which is where sort of media comes in, because that's how people put pressure on the government, as you guys know. Okay, so there's criminally and civilly suing them. Also, in the legal department, there are things like making new laws or getting laws that already exist, such as CANRA, the Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act, enforced when Scientology's policies directly go against this. So there's almost sort of like a law enforcement, law creation avenue that can be gone down. I feel like these all fall under the legal section of Scientology. Then I'm looking at separately the protesting avenue, which is just a way to be in Scientology's face, to let them know that we're not afraid of them anymore. It's a way to give exposure therapy to ex-members. It's a way to take back our power in the way which we have control over. It's also a great way for us to feel supported, and for other people who have had their own trauma or people who want to contribute to something meaningful, to support this cause and to hopefully have a great time while we do it. There's also the whole media avenue, whether it's through YouTube, documentaries, mainstream media, if that is even a thing anymore, but getting people's stories edited and told in a way that people can absorb easily. That takes a lot of skills: video editing, copy editing, all that sort of thing. These are all ways to let the world know about Scientology, and they're all ways for Scientology to face the consequences of their actions. So what I was mostly thinking about yesterday was along this protesting avenue. I thought that it would be a really good idea to create like a 2-minute video where the general public can access through QR code. I even had the idea to make shirts with this QR code. And people don't even have to be actually protesting outside a Scientology church. People can just wear it to their coffee shop or to their local store as a form of protest, where people could scan this QR code and be brought to what I would like to create is just a 2-minute video saying why we're protesting. Now, I initially thought of this with regards to the cops who come out and try to harass protesters. I thought about, okay, yes, fighting with them, calling them out for being hypocritical and unfair is one approach. Another approach could be trying to educate them, even though they should be educating themselves, but maybe that would make it easier for us. Maybe it wouldn't. Or, occasionally I'll see people in a live stream that are saying, why are you harassing these people? All religions have weird beliefs. And I just think having like a 2-minute thing that would, to use a Scientology word, safe point people, or at least explain that we're not just random people who want to make fun of Scientology because they believe in aliens. It's that we're actually people who grew up there, who are protesting its systemic abuse that was perpetrated on us as children, as adults, and destroyed our families. But I want to do this in a way where people who are, even 18 to 35 can easily consume it. It's not like just a ton of information and a ton of big words that are trying to sound official and important. Something that is just easily consumable, that instantly establishes credibility and says the issues that we're protesting, and even invites them just to even share the video or to learn a little bit more about it. So yesterday I was actually trying to write a script, a voiceover script for this 2-minute video. And I did do that. I'll read it to you. And I would actually like your guys' input. I'm even thinking that we can do a couple versions of this video, and maybe you guys can help vote on which one is the best. But before I do that, I would actually like to ask for your help on putting together clips for this video. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to read the script and I will tell you what I'm looking for. Okay, this is how it starts. I was born and raised in Scientology. My uncle, David Miscavige, is a leader of Scientology. Now, the reason that I want to say this starting out is because it immediately establishes credibility. It immediately says, I'm not just some random person who has had no association with Scientology. I'm somebody who actually grew up there, and my uncle is the leader. That automatically establishes a sort of double credibility to the person in the video who will be doing the speaking. Now, most of it I am thinking will just be voiceover because I want to have a lot of clips, etc. But I think establishing credibility or something that just hooks people to listen to is a really important part of this. Okay, I was born and raised in Scientology. My uncle David Miscavige is the leader of all Scientology. We're not here because of Scientology's weird beliefs. We're here because of the abuse they've gotten away with for decades. Okay, so when I say we're not here because of Scientology's weird beliefs, I want to make it clear that we're not going out of our way to protest because Scientology believes in Xenu and aliens. We don't care. People can believe whatever dumb thing they want to, as long as they're not violating the law and actually hurting people. And I'm trying to make that distinction. And I'm also trying to show that we're not just mean, or this isn't just a joke. It's actually something important. It's actually about civil rights here. Now, this isn't perfect. This is just like a first rough draft. They believe children are just adults in small bodies. That's how they justify making them work full adult hours without pay, separating them from families, and denying them a standard education. They exploit the elderly. They bankrupt their members using credit card fraud to pay for what they call religious services. They destroy families. Okay, so what I'm asking for help for here is, when I'm saying these things, I would like clips. And by clips, I mean a YouTube formatted video clip of, say, Rosemary Brown, an elderly woman who was abused in Scientology, saying the briefest thing about her experience. Another 2-second clip of, say, somebody from the Aftermath show saying, they destroyed my family. Or even images of newspaper articles that say, family destroyed, Scientology. Or even if it's a scrolling clip of like a New York Times article saying that Scientology destroys families. But the point of these clips is to give actual credibility to these statements, to not have it look like it's just me saying this, that there are actually numerous people who have said this numerous times completely independently, and all these stories corroborate each other. But again, I'm looking for just like a couple of seconds that I can put together. Okay, and then the voiceover continues, and they get away with it because they have a ruthlessly enforced policy that says members can't report each other to the authorities, not for crimes, not even for felonies. Okay, so at this point, I'll probably put the actual quote where Scientology says Scientologists are forbidden to report other Scientologists to the authorities. But if somebody wants to make a clip of that policy for me, or if you have it, that would be really appreciated, because then I won't have to spend a ton of man hours finding the best version of this. Okay, the voiceover continues. They protect members who abuse children. They protect rapists. If you leave, you lose your kids, your job, your whole community. And if you speak out, they come after you. Okay, so like when it says they protect rapists, honestly, if there's images of articles talking about Danny Masterson saying that he was protected by Scientology, they helped cover for him, that would be great. Just clips of these news articles or 2-second segments from, whether it's from a YouTube video or something like that, or something that gives credibility to this voiceover that will just be shown in the video while I'm talking. Okay, I don't know if I read this part yet, but it says, if you leave, you lose your kids, your job, your whole community, and if you speak out, they come after you. Okay, so, clips that I'm looking for the visual video are maybe like of Paulette Cooper, an article about her, just briefly saying the things that they did to her when she tried to report on them, or other similar stories like this. Okay, then I say, after my grandfather told his story, my uncle, the leader of Scientology, had him followed by private investigators carrying lethal weapons. So there were many articles written about this, but what I'm looking for is the imagery to put behind this as I say it, or even just 1 or 2-second video clips of this being reported by media or other credible sources. Okay, and then this is a big part that I was looking for help with. The voiceover is going to say, and it's not just me saying this. There are hundreds of us who have spoken out, and many more who stay silent out of fear. Okay, so when it says it's not just me saying this, I would love for it to have photos of people coming onto the screen, and even if it's just a 1-second clip of them saying, my mother no longer talks to me because of Scientology, or Scientology destroyed my childhood, and then basically have all these squares of images come together and fill the whole screen of hundreds of people who have spoken out about Scientology. So I would only need like 1 or 2 clips of people talking very briefly, but then have all of these images of these people, little squares, come together so that there's a whole screen showing all of these people who have spoken out about Scientology. Once again, trying to give credibility to these statements that I'm making in such a short time using this imagery. Okay, so it says there are hundreds of us who have spoken out and many more who stay silent out of fear, because speaking up means losing everyone you know. And their celebrity supporters, they're not clueless. They fund it, they legitimize it, and they know exactly what they're supporting. Okay, so if we can have some clips of celebrity Scientologists, even if it's like magazines that say Tom Cruise does not talk to his daughter, other celebrity Scientologist clips, and I guess by clips, I mean actually still images of media or other things that lend credit to this statement that the celebrity supporters are not clueless, they fund it, which is absolutely true. They pay money into Scientology and they legitimize it by saying how great it is. So maybe if you have any, maybe if you can help find any media or press that these celebrities have done, even if it's like Grant Cardone, Elizabeth Moss, or Tom Cruise saying certain things, or images of multiple media articles. So back to the voiceover. We protest because it's the only justice we have. Statutes of limitations run out before we even realize what has happened to us. The cops don't act. The government looks away. Okay, so if there's any imagery we can put behind this voiceover, I can't think of anything right away that would be a great idea for this, but maybe if it's like a news article saying, why hasn't government done anything about this? Where is the government? Or even if it's imagery of tons of YouTube comments saying, where is the government in all this? Just to go back a little bit earlier where it says there are hundreds of us who have spoken out, I also want to highlight that the people who have spoken out are from all different walks of life as Scientologists. So I also want to say former high-level executive and show like the Tampa Bay Times articles about the Truth Rundown and clips like that, just to give an idea of what I'm looking for. Whoops. All right. So the voiceover continues, we're not just yelling at a building. We live this. And the people standing with us, they care enough to show up. So any imagery of us doing chalk or of people protesting outside of Scientology, things like that would be great for this. And then it just says, thanks for watching. If you want to do something, sharing this with even one person makes a difference. Thank you. So I like that this is a small ask of people. It's not asking them for money or for donations, which I feel like would make people suspicious. It's just asking them to do the smallest thing they can do, which is just share it with one person. And eventually I plan on doing like another video that people can watch after doing that and how they can help, etc. But this is sort of where I wanted to start with this or get the ball rolling. And I was really hoping that you guys might be able to help me with it. The goal is to create a 1 to 2 minute video that is easily consumable, that is interesting the entire time, that establishes credibility, that lets people know what's going on and why this is important, and really gets people on our side, and something that is so easily shareable that it could spread like wildfire. And it could also be used in legal campaigns, things like that. There's so many uses for this. It's hard when people ask you what's wrong with Scientology because there's so much to say that it's hard to know where to start. So I feel like having this sort of elevator pitch is something that will be really helpful in bringing Scientology to justice. And so if you guys could send any clips that you maybe can help me find, images, things that you can help put together for me, that would really, really help. I want to put this together, but I actually need help. So many of you offered it, and I am trying to get better at asking for help and not taking it all on myself. So if you could email me, Jenna@ex-Scientologykids.com, any clips that you're able to help put together, that would be wonderful. Also, if you guys have any suggestions on how this voiceover could be improved, or what you think would establish more credibility, or what quick things could be said in there, or even edits for it that you think would make it more impactful in a smaller amount of time and do the job that I'm looking for it to do, I would really appreciate any help I can get. I will put what I've written so far in the video description, and if you guys want to have a look at it or anything like that, that would be really helpful to me. I would love if this could be a team effort, and this video is something that we can put together and make something that is very, very valuable for this movement. And I'll keep updating you on this, and I'll keep showing you the different versions of it as we work through it. I mean, it doesn't have to take forever, but maybe in the end we can do like a little premiere on it, or we can vote for like which version of 3 is the best. Again, it's only going to be 2 minutes, so it's not a lot to watch. But I think together we can come up with something amazing. And having the point of view of people who are never in Scientology, being able to tell me if this is something that is easily understandable and impactful is so valuable to me. So thank you guys for all of your offers to help, for all of your support. It means so much, and anything you can do to help me with this, help me with these clips, help me with this imagery would be great. I think we can put together something amazing. All right, you guys, that's all for today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.